Hi guys, it's Generic. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the answers to all of the questions in the code.org Computer Science Fundamentals Express Course 2022 for Lesson 6. And there are 22 questions, so it's going to take us a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started. Here on question 1, the first thing it tells us in this little pop-up is press the run button first. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It says drag the objects to the dog and watch it react. Once you've clicked run, these will become draggable objects. I don't know if you can hear that, but that makes a sound. And the dog food he also barked. I hope you guys can hear that. If not, hopefully you're doing it along screen at home or something. And you can see that he reacts. So the ball makes him do one noise, the food makes him do a different noise, and the bone makes him do a third noise. All right. If we click OK and click finish, that's all they wanted us to do, was just to see that those objects would be draggable, and when they interacted with the dog, they would each have a different effect. You're finished, click continue to move on to the next level. Question 2 for lesson 6. Customized greeting card. This program will ask you a couple of questions and then create a customized greeting message for you. A lot of people have a hard time with the next couple of questions because they're unsure as to what code.org is asking them to do. Mostly they want you to see what is possible so you'll be able to create it afterwards. I don't know. I feel like I didn't articulate that very well, but so this is who is having and if we move this a little bigger, you can see that it actually says who is having a birthday. And a lot of people are like, what? But if you click run, that text box becomes somewhere you can type. So if I type Jen and click finish, let's go do it a little faster. Sorry, run, Jen. How old will they be? I don't know, 9. It makes this little customized greeting card. Happy birthday, Jen. You're turning 9. Okay, moving on. Let's click finish and go to question 3. Chatbot. This robot will ask you questions and remember what you type your answers, and have a conversation with X9. Hello, I'm X9. What's your name? A lot of times when I have to enter a name into things like this, I put Bob, or I just, as I say, jam on the keys. I just go blah, 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 and click a couple of keys. I will be putting Jen in since that is actually my name, but you can type one letter and it will still let you continue and you'll learn the same thing. So my name, Jen. Enter your age, 100. Like I said, you can put in whatever you want. Your favorite color, blue. You see he does something different every time. Oh, because I said blue, the background went blue. I wonder if that's coincidence. I wish I could look at the code to see it. Thanks for chatting with me today, and finish. Let's try doing that one more time, actually, because blah, blah, blah. Like I said, jam on the keys. Age, I don't know, will be 9 again. Favorite color, what if we put in red? Yes, it does. They've coded it correctly to recognize what color you put in, as long as it's, not super obscure, like grassy hill green or something. All right. And then it changes the background to it. That's pretty cool. So question 4. Question 4 says, blank space story. This program will ask you to enter some words and then use those words to tell you a silly story. This can be really useful if you want to make kind of a Mad Libs, choose your own adventure style game. So let's look at what they have. Party games, a blank space story. Enter an adjective. I assume if you're learning coding, you probably know what an adjective is, but just in case you don't, an adjective, is a describing word that describes a noun. So cat is a noun. It can be a tall cat or a fat cat or a fluffy cat or a loud cat. Anything that describes it. So enter an adjective. We'll do big. You're hosting a party. Make sure to plan lots of big games. Enter an object. We'll use cat since we were just talking about it. First, people get warmed up with a round of musical cat. That sounds like a good way to get scratched. Poor kitty. Enter a body part. Arm. Next, have them balance while standing on one arm. I need to make this a little bigger if we want to actually see all the text, and then enter a number. I've been entering 9 this whole time. Let's do, I don't know, 6. Finally go outside and have a 6-legged race. Good luck with that one, unless you're an octopus. In which case, what do you do with the other 2 legs? So there you go. That's going to go ahead and give you your points. You can click finish. Something a lot of students of coding figure out with code.org is the ones that have finish, you can often just click finish and it will let you continue. But like I always say to my in-person students, you don't really want to do that because you're not going to learn a dang thing. And when you go to actually use what you've learned about coding to create your own projects, you're not going to know how because you basically just clicked done on everything and finished. And yeah, you won't actually know how to do it. So I suggest you actually put forth some effort. And if you're here watching this, I assume you probably want to make a finished product with this or have some goals for a new job or something that requires coding. So let's hope you do that, but it's up to you. Virtual aquarium for number 5, fill up your own unique aquarium with a variety of things with their own behaviors. What will you add? Fish, creature, or other? I'm going to start with fish. So let's click run. Fish. Which fish? This cute little blue one. Now let's add a different fish. Oh, we'll do this little purple one. Maybe we'll get a creature. We got a little crab going there. Let's do another to see what we get. Oh, let's get some coral. That's it. They just want you to see that those are sprites and that you can add them. Actually, I don't think they've even told us those are sprites yet, but since the chapter or the lesson is lesson 6, making sprites, you've probably guessed. Those are sprites. Number 6. The Great Collector Game. This is 3 games in one. Choose your character, then use the arrow keys to collect all the objects. The Great Collector Game, select game type. When I click run, I'm going to pick, is this a cat with a farting unicorn? Rainbow? I don't know what's going on here. Yes, it's a cat with a unicorn horn and hearts and a really long, fluffy horse style / unicorn style multicolored tail. All right, and cupcakes. There we go. This is 3 games in one. Choose your character, then use the arrow keys to collect the objects. You can use these arrow keys, or you could use the arrow keys on your keyboard. Actually, I misspoke. Okay. As I say, these arrow keys aren't working, but they do. They just don't work if you just tap them. You have to hold them down, which in a future lesson, I will show you the difference in how to code that between continual movement and having to keep pressing it over and over or holding it down. And then you can get those little cupcakes. My time was 57 seconds until I crashed into however many cupcakes it's coded for. Apparently you can also do bunnies and carrots, or, sorry, I gotta click run again, the spaceships and stars. There's finish. You're gonna see these sometimes where it says you can share your game. So you can copy a link to the project or you can send it directly to your phone, just so you know. It's pretty fun getting to create your own thing and then send it to your phone to test it out. So let's see what 7 has. If I remember correctly, yes, build a computer, connect all the parts and figure out how to turn on the computer. So let's make this a little larger so hopefully you guys at home can see it. If we click run, it has all these little somewhat poorly drawn computer parts and what looks like a laptop. Once you move them up here, they sort of snap into place automatically. That one's going from the plug to the computer. You can put the keyboard in, which goes on top. Oh, well, this is going to go underneath now, obviously. There we go. That's it. Just want you to put the parts in there. So we'll go to number 8. See, a lot of these aren't really teaching, I mean, they're teaching you coding, but they're not teaching you the actual blocks to use for coding up until you get to number 8. They are more teaching you what's possible so that you can, again, hopefully create your own thing at the end. This one has this little link icon, which says this icon means that this level is part of a larger project. Changes will be saved across these levels. So usually that means that 8 is going to copy the text or the coding automatically to 9. 9 is going to copy to 10, blah, blah, blah. Hence, don't jump around, or it's going to add, if you just did 15, or excuse me, 14 right now, it would add all of those. back on to question 8. But we're going to go in order, so it shouldn't be a problem. And I happen to know that lessons 6 and 7 are a little bit glitchy with the link feature right now anyway, so hopefully they'll be fixed by the time you do this lesson, but they may not carry over anyway. So again, 8, making sprites, actually making your own. To make a sprite, open the sprites category of the toolbox and drag out this block. So you can go to sprites. We're going to get this make new strawberry. There it is. Do this. Connect a make new sprite block under the when run block. We already did that. Choose a costume for your sprite, press run. I was going to leave it as the strawberry, but you can also use this little drop down arrow and pick, I don't know why, but this smiley toast is looking adorable to me. You can pick smiley toast or whatever you want. So let's go on to question 9, where they're going to teach us a little bit more about sprites. And then towards the end of the lesson, we will learn how to code them to move around. Don't forget, if you haven't watched any of my previous lessons, you can always click show code and it will show you the actual JavaScript behind these blocks that you're using. You're using code.org to learn a Blockly based language, but it is JavaScript. And I believe I share that in lesson 1. If you want more info about that, go back or click the show code and read the little pop-up message. It explains it the same way. All right, positioning sprites. Each sprite has a location. You can set the location by clicking the pin on this block. Before we go any further, let me just say, for those of you that are familiar with XY coordinates, or you've used like scratch.mit.edu to create your own games or animations or what have you, for some bizarre reason, code.org puts 00 down here in the bottom left-hand corner. I think it's because sometimes they have very young students learning to code and the idea of XY coordinates is confusing to them. That's my best guess. So they only use the top, right quadrant, but I guess all the numbers are positives. I think that does a disservice to students. But in any case, don't get confused. Unlike most of the time where 00 would probably be in the middle, that is in fact 200, 200. So we're going to go, to location, get a location block, and you can either put the cursor wherever you want and say, oh, okay, it's about, x83, y306, or you can click on this little pin and then move your sprite to wherever you want. Let's put him, I don't know, down over here. And it will automatically input the coordinates for you. So again, if it's going to input the coordinates for you anyway, younger students don't really need to know the XY coordinates. So why not just make 00 in the middle? If anybody can figure out if there's another reason why that would be beneficial, please put it down in the comments, because as you can tell, it really bugs me. Why not get the younger students some exposure to some higher level math skills early, as opposed to dumbing things down for everyone? But whatever. Do this. Find a new block in the locations category. Done. Dragged it into my workspace. Connect it to the make new sprite block you added before. Click the pin on the location. Choose a new position. Press run, which is the only thing we haven't done. And hooray, the toast was there. So let's go on to question 10. Maybe we'll pick something other than toast this time. It should automatically, remember, since these are linked questions in lesson 6, it should automatically carry over, our blocks from the previous question, which it did. It's toast and not a strawberry, and it's at this position. So that's actually working. I'm a little tongue-tied today, guys. I'm sorry. It's actually working today, the linking. Do this. Click the images to the image to the right to expand it. Make 4 sprites. Choose any costumes you like. Position each sprite position each one in a different corner of the screen like the image. I think I just need to slow down. So Busy's trying to go fast for you guys since there's so many questions in this lesson. All right, so let's make, I don't know, we got toast, banana. Let's make a whole breakfast. I mean, I don't really want a cupcake for breakfast. Oh, who am I kidding? I would totally eat a cupcake for breakfast. Okay, fine. Then we can click on these. They want 1 in each section. So put the banana up there. We'll click the cupcake. Put it, I don't know. Ooh, this site's being a little laggy too. Maybe it is my internet. I don't think so, though. All right, there we go. That's mostly one in each of the corners. We click run. Let's see if it's enough of the corners to make it happy. Yes, it is. I've had students before on question 10 put them a little too close to the middle and it doesn't let them continue, even though there's really one in each section. Just move them further out towards the edges if that happens. So, see, this isn't linked. Oh, it doesn't say it's linked. Okay. No wonder it didn't carry things over. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Number 11 says sprite properties. Sprites have more properties, including a size that can be set with code. Here are two sprites. One is larger than the other. Use the new block in the sprites category to change the size of the second one. Do this. Add a set size block to resize the second sprite. So we have this roundish sort of flower, and its size is set at 250. We also have this jagged / pointed sort of flower. So we can go into sprites and get the set size, make sure it is this jagged pointed sort of flower, and set its size to something else. I don't know. Let's do 100 maybe. All right, let's click run. Use a set size block for each of your sprites. I did. Oh, shoot. It didn't register the 100. That's why. Let's try it again. Hello? What am I missing here? Suppose I could separate them? Round flower? Maybe it wants this to be a different size too? I don't remember that being the case. Set size block to resize the second sprite. I did. You can make it bigger or smaller. The defaults, sprite size is 100, so choose any other number, but the default sprite size wasn't 100. It was 50 when we got it, remember? So by making it 100, it was displeased. Let's just be smart, Alex, and make it really big then. Some of you guys would want to do it anyway, right? Yay, giant flower. All right, now it'll let us continue. The default size is 100, so even though it starts with a 50 in that box, you have to make it something other than 100, which kind of makes me think if you left it 50, it might just let you continue. Yeah. Feel free to try it if you want. This lesson's long enough. I don't want to go back and do it, but number 12 says behavior sprites can have their own behaviors, which are actions they will do over and over while the program runs. To give a sprite a behavior, you need to use a sprite begins block with a behavior block. Drag out a sprite begins block from the behavior toolbox. Behaviors, excuse me. So we have this little dude. If I change him, let's say, I don't know. I want something that can patrol back and forth across the screen. Say I make him a shark. You have to also change the shark down here. Otherwise, you have a shark, but you're telling a little crab dude that you want it to do something, but the crab dude isn't there. Let's find something bigger. Here, fish, yellow fish. That'll work. Then it says drag out a green behavior block, which are these. I'm going to get the moving east and looping if they have it. They do not. When you have all the blocks at your disposal, when you go up and do the Sprite Lab to make your creation, it will have that as one of the choices. They just haven't given it to us yet. So there it went, east, and bye, fish, to never come back. If we had used moving east and looping, it would have come back to the other side of the screen. Kind of like the creatures do in Frogger and the trucks and things in Frogger. If you've ever played that very old arcade game, which is really fun, by the way. It was an old stand-up arcade game and an Atari game. 13, desert scene. Add a code to create a desert scene with different sprites. You can click the picture to the right for an example. Do this, make 4 sprites, choose any costume you like, position each one in a different corner of the screen, similarly to what we did with the food a couple of questions back. So let's make 4 sprites. I'm going to put the sun up in the top left. Come on, sun. Keep going. Then I'm going to make a cactus. Actually, let's make 2 cacti. Oops, forgot to click my pin to move the cactus. Put them over there, and then we'll get a little plane. Okay, red plane, and let's put him up over here. There we go. Change the size of your sprites to make your final image look more realistic. So, since this cactus is way closer, I'm actually going to make that cactus back there, which I believe is the second one, a bit smaller. Now, yeah, I had feared that. It's going to do it to all the cacti in the thing, which is kind of a bummer. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to go back and change it. You could, well, fine. I just said I wasn't going to change it. Now I'm trying to. No, never mind. There's no spread. I want to make it. So you could change it so that it made one small and one big, but you would have to do it in another way. And it's with blocks that we don't have available yet. So whatever, we're just learning. It's totally fine how it is. So I changed the size of that, and then let's make the sun bigger. Set size for the sun. Let's make it, I don't know, 90. Now if we run it, at least show us our picture, silly thing. That's, okay, I take it back. Let's make it like 150. That way it'll be, there we go. Now you can tell. Sometimes I wonder if you guys can tell at home when I make changes in size because the picture is so small through YouTube. I mean, it depends on what device you're watching it on, obviously, but it's only this little portion of my shared screen. All right, so we got that. Let's go on to 14. Question 14 is going to have us do some more with behaviors for our sprites. Code to create strawberry and banana sprites is below, but the sprites are the wrong size. Change the size of the sprite so the banana is bigger than the strawberries. So as we learned in the last one, whatever size we make one strawberry, it is going to make all the strawberries for lesson 6. So I don't know, just keep that in mind. Oops, not what I meant to do. There we go. But we want the banana to be bigger. So I'm going to make the banana, I don't know, 150. It's going to be huge. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, still not as big as I thought it would be. Let's make the strawberry sprites much smaller so that's a little bit better. That's odd to me. I set it underneath this one, just like I did with the cactus in the previous question, and it only made one smaller. Let's try something. If we put these above here, will it make them all smaller? Yes, it will. Okay, so your position matters, and it's because of the JavaScript that's behind it. So if this interests you, and you are not just here for answers, go over here and show code, and you can see how the difference, how it changes between when you put it up here under one or when you put it down here under both of them. So yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. I'm gonna have to make a separate video on that for you guys and why it is that way. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for that, but you could also mess around with it and check show code each time to see the difference, see if you can figure it out yourself. All right. Question 15. Animate a sailing ship. Make a ship sprite and have it sail across the water. Do this. Make a new ship sprite. No problem. Sprites. Make a new. Got it. Move the sprite so it sits upon the water, which is going to be up here. So we're going to click our pin. Put it up here somewhere. There we go. Make the sprite move across the screen with a behavior, and then bonus, use a second behavior such as wobbling or fluttering to make the ship more lifelike as it moves. So first we're going to get it to do, oh, hey, they have moving east and looping that I didn't see last time. Let's grab that one. So get this sprite begins. And I'm going to do moving east and looping so that you can see how it goes to the right and then loops back and comes on the left side of the screen again, like Frogger, as I was saying, with the trucks and other obstacles you have to dodge in that game. But let's do the second half that it's asking us to do. We're also going to make it wobble. Well, actually, let's do jittering. I wonder why they didn't give that as one of the two suggestions. It seems to me jittering is going to look a little more like a real boat. I don't know. Whatever. That's what I did. Do whatever you like. Let's go on to question 16. Almost there. There's a free play question at the end, by the way. 16 says a breezy day. There is already code to create the sprites. Add to this program to give each sprite a behavior. So they've already put the sprites. Make the cloud move across the screen. We know how to do that because I just showed you the looping. So, sorry, might as well just grab these while I'm in here. They gave the cloud first, even though it's not the first sprite they listed, which for younger students, they probably should have listed them in the same order that they are down here, but whatever. That's teacher Jen talking. It's not the end of the world that they didn't. All right, so now we have a sun with a behavior, a cloud with a behavior, and a butterfly with the behavior. Let's give them the behaviors. The cloud has to move across the screen. I'm going to get moving east and looping again. Come on, snap in there. There we go. The sun, they want to spin, which is a bit odd. If the sun was noticeably spinning in the sky, I'd be a bit panicked, but all right. Let's have it spin left. And then the butterfly has to wander around. Bonus, use additional behaviors to make the butterfly appear more lifelike. So, of course we're going to do that. In case there's some of you that need that for bonus points. My hand keeps running across the desk, making a bizarre noise. And I'm, to be honest, wondering if it's going to sound like farting on the mic. If it does, I'm sorry. At least you know that's not what it is. So, where's fluttering? So, fluttering is exactly what a butterfly does. It kind of flutters and flies around. So, I'm going to grab that one. And then, in case you forgot, the thing that they want it to do is wander, which is down here somewhere usually. Yes, wandering. So you can see it. Oh, it's not wandering very far. Wait a minute. The butterfly didn't wander. Oh, it wasn't totally snapped in? It was just still lit up yellow. That's still not really wandering. Oh, hey, look at the screen really fast. Some of you are probably yelling at it right now. Oh my gosh, generic. I know why the butterfly is not wandering. Because I told the sun to wander. I have to tell the butterfly to wander. I didn't change the sprite that it's commanding. So it's calling this, like it's telling it, hey, sun, wander, even though I wanted it to do that. That's much better. If you want the butterfly to go faster, by the way, you can go into edit and change the settings. I'm going to make a separate video explaining those two. But again, in the interest of time, since I already think this video is going to be really lengthy with all these questions, I will not explain it here. I'll try to link it at the end, though. I'll come back and link it once I've created it. 17, free play, make a scene. Now it's your turn to create whatever you want. Do this. So they say, do whatever you want, but do this. Add sprites, give them costumes and locations, set the size of your sprites so they look the way you want. Bring your sprites to light with behaviors. So I will tell you right now that if you do nothing and click run, it's still going to let you click finish, like I was discussing earlier, but you didn't learn a dang thing. So let's go ahead and change stuff a little bit. Plus, I don't know how much sense it makes to have this plant jungly background with an apple and an ice cream cone. Why don't we do this? Why don't we make the apple start up over here like it's on this, and this is a tree. I realize these leaves don't really look very much like apple tree leaves, but whatever, we're doing this anyway. And then we will make it move down like it's falling off the tree. So we want it to move south. Then after 5 seconds, let's instead have the ice cream pop up. So after 5 seconds, we're going to make a new ice cream sprite. Again, not really sure why there would be an ice cream sprite over here. 30977. Oh, by the way, if you tell a sprite to start after the beginning, so if you have a new sprite, like this make new ice cream sprite, and it's not connected to when run, it will not show up in your playing field, for lack of a better term, until it gets to 5 seconds. So you can't see it to know where you're putting it, which is really annoying about code.org. So there are a couple of things you could do. You could take it and attach it up there to the when run. You could hover to where you want it and just manually enter in the numbers. Although on this lesson, it's not letting me manually enter in the numbers, but usually it will. Yeah, those are pretty much your two options most of the time. So Sprite stops moving west and looping. How about, we don't need this one to stop at all. We just want the one to fall and this one to, I don't know. Let's just let it dance around. It can wander. Let's go ahead and run that. So after 5 seconds, should be around now. Yep, now we have a wandering ice cream cone. Why we would have that, I have no clue, but it doesn't really matter. Now, hopefully, you've messed around with yours a little bit and you can click finish, get your circle for number 17 green, and move on. 18 is going to be similar, where it's a kind of just, I believe, if I remember correctly, free play, do what you want. Yes, make a scene. So now it's just a fish scene, same kind of thing. So I'm going to jam through these ones really quickly. So we have two, those fish are both doing things. After 5 seconds, it's going to add a very ugly fish. Can we pick a different fish? Oh, no offense, fish, but you're not real, so you can't really be upset. I'm going to, I don't know, make this one be super big, first of all. So we're going to change the size with the set size block. I'm going to make him 250. What kind of fish do you guys think this is in question 18, this yellow one? If you have any idea what kind of fish that is, or supposed to be, put that down below too. I have a saltwater fish tank and I cannot tell what they think this fish is. Maybe it's just a random, like not modeled after anything real. All right, that should be pretty good, except that these both start in a separate, in like the same area, and we need them to start in separate areas. So one's going to move east and loop, one's going to just wander around, and this one is going to also wander around. Yeah, let's just do that. So after 5 seconds, giant yellowfish should show up. Yep. Now, if you wanted to make it funny, you could make it so the other two fish ran off the screen when the giant yellowfish showed up. But again, let's keep going. 19 is going to be another free play, but just with a different background and a different theme. I want to say it's food. Let's see if I'm remembering correctly, because I haven't done it that many times. Oh, nope. It's the birds. Free play, make a scene. Now it's your turn to create whatever you want. Do this. Add sprites, give them costumes and locations, set the size of your sprites so they look the way you want. Bring your sprites to life with behaviors. And you can, again, do literally anything you want, but I want to point one thing out. Instead of after 5 seconds, things changing, they now have while right pressed to have this, I guess it's a toucan, do different things. So I can't remember if before this you've learned the difference between while and when. I don't think lessons 1 through 5 have that. I can't remember. But no, yeah, maybe they do. Anyway, while means it's going to continually do that. So I'm going to click run. And then when I click right, if I hold it down, it's going to continually move. I don't have to click, 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 click. It will hold down kind of like a joystick or Xbox or PlayStation controller would, where it can continue to move. If you change this to when, it would only go one space at a time. Also, if you wanted to move faster, which I definitely do, that was really slow. No toucan's going to be that slow. Unless those birds or mountains are supposed to be really, really big, I suppose. But then he's a giant bird. He'd still move faster. Change these to 10. Now he's going to move twice as fast. And hopefully you can kind of see that. So add whatever else you want to that one. When you are done, click finish. And let's check out 20. So we saw the up, down, left, and right buttons. There are 3 ways, by the way, in code.org that I know of to do up, down, left, and right controls like that. That's only one of them. You'll learn some other ones later. If you want to learn more about actually creating your own and the different 3 ways, you could watch my video that I will try to remember to link up in the corner right now. That's about creating your own chase game. That way you can not have to wait until you're finished with your code.org lessons to start creating your own things. Free play, make a scene. Now we have alien dudes in a background, but they have not given us anything. So let's quickly do left, right, up, and down and add a sprite. So we're going to make a new, ooh, that's a scary, weird looking ship. Yeah, let's snag this red one instead. And we can go get, oh man. Since we don't have access to all the blocks, we don't have access to the event block so that we could do up, down, left, and right with this ship. We would need the when up arrow pressed or when W pressed, move sprite north or move sprite 5 pixels, whatever. But they didn't give us the option of doing that. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and play around with this in any other way you want. I just wanted to demonstrate up, down, left, and right. You can then run it and click finish. I guess I should at least give it a behavior since I was just saying you should practice or you're never going to learn. Let's make it jitter and wander around. I'm sure you've seen this create a behavior up here. If you want to mess around with that, there's no breaking this. As long as you are not pouring water on the device you're using or smashing it with a hammer, you're not going to break this stuff. Go ahead and mess around with it. Try making your own behaviors so that it can do exactly what you want it to do. Gosh, this is giving me all these ideas for videos that I need to make for you guys, like how to create and modify and edit behaviors to modify what the sprite does. But I only have so much time. Sadly, this is not my day job. It would be fun if it was, though. So yeah, let's just make it wander around. I will show you quickly, though. I know the wander is going to be way too small. So instead of 1 pixel forward right here, I mean, it's a spaceship after all, rocket type. Should go fast. So I'm going to change it so that it goes 5 pixels. So at least that's a little better and it'll wander around. Otherwise, it would have been just excruciatingly slow. Still doesn't look much like a real spaceship when it's wandering, though. Looks more like a ball in a game of Pong bouncing around. Maybe this is the food one? 21? Nope, it's dogs. Can't go wrong with dogs, though. Now it's your turn to create whatever you want. Add sprites. Since they have a dog talking to us, though, I'm definitely going to use animals. Let's see. We have a bunny. Oh, we could make a dog chase a bunny around, but that's a little morbid. Oh, they didn't even give us a dog. Well, that works out. So we'll make a bunny. I'm going to set his size kind of tiny. I'm actually going to change the background, as pretty as this background is. See if we can find something. Well, again, didn't give us all the choices. We'll leave it. I was going to see if I could find something made a little more sense for a bunny, but the greenery, the plants that are in that one are up in the sky. No bunny's going to be running around a tree in the sky. It's not really what they do. So go ahead and practice putting some stuff on here. Click run, click finish. We're finally to question 22. We'll also try to go in and put chapters in this lesson so that you guys know, so you don't have to sit here forever if all you need is one question. Free play, make a scene. We have some little people. Now it's your turn. Create whatever you want. Add sprites, give them costumes and locations. So we have what looks like a woman with glasses and a hijab. We have what looks like a little boy. They're very tiny. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe now we can have a dog. Yeah, if we go to costumes and click on new costumes, I think it's going to let us have, yes, it is, all of the costumes / sprites available. So I am going to go in and get those two people a little dog or a cat or something. There's a cat, but it's kind of neurotic looking. Oh, okay, little corgi booty. How can you resist a cute little corgi? We'll go back to our code and we'll put a little corgi in there. There he is. Now let's just move him down over here. Oh, definitely change his size. He's a giant, scary corgi right now. So let's in fact change this woman's size to be bigger instead. That's a little better. And she can go down over here. Maybe that's her corgi. Maybe this is her kid. You tell yourself your own little stories. Have any of you guys ever watched Bob Ross, the painter? He had a show in the 80s, I think the 70s and the 90s, some too, on PBS. He always say, oh, and he tells a little story over here. That's what this reminds me of. So here's a little story. We have this woman and her son, and they just adopted this cute little corgi. Oh. If you haven't watched Bob Ross, you should totally go watch Bob Ross. He'll teach you to paint. I'll teach you to code. How about that? Finish. Okay, Internet. I said finish. Well, at least we got to the end before code.org decided to sleep on us. There we go. So that was it. Questions 1 through 22 of lesson 6. I will try to remember to put those two cards up to links to the two other videos. I have to still make one of those videos. If you have any comments or questions, go down below. Also, lesson 7, I've already recorded, and so it will be up here right about now. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.